This is review for Test 3, Chapter 14, Part 2. Buffers are solutions that resist large changes in pH when small amounts of acids or bases are added to it. It can be made from a weak acid and its conjugate base. The conjugate base of the substance will have one less H plus on it, while a weak base and a conjugate acid will have an H plus added to it. To calculate the pH of the solution, we will use the Henderson-Hasselbalch equation, which is that pH is equal to pKa plus log of base, the concentration of the base, divided by the concentration of the acid. This assumes that the approximation is small and that and additionally, the way to calculate pKa is to get minus log of Ka value for the weak acid solution. We can utilize moles or molarity for concentrations. Adding a base, an added base is neutralized by an acid component in the buffer. The pH of the buffer is slightly increased. An added acid is neutralized by the base component in the buffer, and the pH of the buffer is slightly decreased. Calculating the pH of a buffer after adding an acid or a base, determine what will react to neutralize the added component. Will it be the acid component or the base component? An acid component reacts with the base component of the buffer, and an added base reacts with the acid component of the buffer. Then you must write a balanced chemical equation illustrating how the component that will react changes its concentration, such as its initial concentration, the conjugate acid, and when it reacts in water. Then perform similar to an ice table for the conjugate acid or base for the buffer solution. Then calculate the pH with the Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. A buffer is most effective when the concentration of the acid is equal to the concentration of the base, because the buffer has equal capacity towards the strong acid and the strong base. The pH is equal to pKa is how you identify how to choose an acid. The buffer range is a pH at which the buffer can be effective. It is when the concentration of the base is divided by the concentration of the acid, the buffer range can be 0.1 to 10 of this concentration. The effective pH range, therefore, is pKa plus or minus 1. When choosing an acid to make the buffer, choose an acid with a pKa value closest to the pH of the buffer. The buffer capacity is the amount of acid or base that can be added before exceeding the buffer range, and most effective when adding acid when the concentration of the acids and the bases are high. A concentration of buffer can neutralize an added base or acid more effectively if the concentration is high. When preparing a buffer, a weak acid plus a strong base, that it should be half the moles of the weak acid. A weak base plus a strong acid, if you have a weak base, then you must add a strong acid that is half the moles of the weak base. And if you have a weak acid, then you should add a strong base that is half the moles of the weak acid. When performing an acid-base titration, it is a lab procedure where the basic acidic solution is unknown, with unknown concentration, is reacted with an acidic or basic solution with a known concentration. The pH change is monitored by either an indicator or pH meter. An example of this is in the lab procedure here. In the Erlenmeyer flask, we have something with an unknown concentration. It is called the analyte, something we are looking to analyze. A burette has the titrant where the concentration of it is known. At equivalence point, the moles of titrant is equal to the moles of analyte, and the moles of acid is equal to the moles of base. For pH calculations for the acid-base titration, define the limiting reactant and calculate the final moles of the reactions of the acid, the base, and the resulting salt, using something similar to the ice table. Define the pH active components remaining after the lab is performed and following calculations. If it is a strong acid, you can use minus log the concentration of H3O plus. If it's a strong base, just perform the POH of the hydroxide is equal to minus log of the hydroxide concentration. If it's a weak acid or weak base, you can use if it's a weak acid and a conjugate base, or a weak base and a conjugate acid, we know that this makes a buffer. So the pH is equal to pKa plus log of the concentration of the base divided by the concentration of the acid. When it is only a conjugate acid or conjugate base, this is a weak pH, and we resort to calculations similar to that for weak pH calculations. Titrations of the pH curve. A graph of volume of the solution added to the titrant versus the pH of the analyte. An equivalence point is when there's a sharp change in pH. The equivalence point here is this, right here, where we see a sharp change in pH. Here we see when a strong acid, titration curves for a strong acid and a strong base. Here we can see a strong acid is originally there, but a strong base is added to it. We see that the initial pH concentration is really low because this is an acid. And the equivalence point again is here when there is a sharp change in pH. Here we see initially that H3O plus is in excess because it is acidic. And here we see that when there is a strong base initially present where the pH is quite high and a strong acid is added to it, we can see the equivalence point where there's a sharp change in pH. The hydroxide concentration is in excess because there is a strong base. And at the end, the acid concentration is in excess. The equivalence point is a neutral pH of 7. Here are some things to note again, is that the pH is perfectly at 7 at equivalence point. The strong acid has a low initial pH, and a strong base, if that's what we're starting with, has a high initial pH. Here we see adding a strong base to a weak acid. So here we see that the pH is actually quite higher than the last one. A buffer range is when both the weak acid and the conjugate base are present in the solution, and we see at the end, because of the strong acid, the hydroxide is in concentration. Here we also see that the pH will be greater than 7, and this is because of the strong base added to it. We see that the half equivalence point is where the ideal buffer would be there, where the acid is equal to the concentration of the conjugate base and pH is equal to pKa. Here again we see the titration curve for a strong acid added to a weak base. We see that the pH is lower because this is a weak base, and we see that at the equivalence point the pH is less than 7 because of the strong acid added to it. We see that the weak base and its conjugate acid are present in the buffer range here, and a titration curve of diprotic acid. Here we see that for diprotic acid, such as H2SO3, this can be broken down twice. First into HSO3 by breaking it down to H plus SO3 2 minus, and then again by breaking it down into H plus and SO3, first breaking it into HSO3 minus and then breaking it into H plus and SO3 2 minus. This is because it has two H's that it can give off. And here we see that there are two sharp changes in pH, or the buffer ranges. And that is the two-step ionization for this diprotic acid. Lastly, buffers can be present by starting with a weak acid and adding a strong base that is half the moles of the weak acid, as mentioned above.